hear enough, and that's why you shouldn't cut those people off, because there's people that actually do the hard work.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we're live again.
I don't see it.
And we have audio?
Yeah, I hear her.
Oh, this is amazing. Technology is amazing, isn't it, Nick?
Yes, it is.
It's a beautiful thing.
Can you
Eric,
see my
do you
beard?
agree?
All right. The tears are wiped away. Technology frustrates
Oh, my
us.
gosh.
Help me,
Now-
Rhonda.
You would have thought I would have got a beer when I was messing around with the camera, grabbing my tissues, wiping my tears away, but I forgot to. All right, so
All right, so
okay.
okay.
We'll let it settle out before we start recording again. We'll see if we can get our viewers back in the house.
I don't understand why I'm not seeing live. Maybe let me log out of Facebook. Maybe that's why. For whatever reason.
All right, so
There
we
it goes.
got
Now I can
audio.
see it live again.
Man, what kind of bush league podcast is this?
Well, all right, there we go.
True American spirit, right?
America.
That we're figuring out as we go along. Problem solving at its best.
All right, so we're back up to 4 viewers. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh man, I really want to talk about this beer at some point.
On the bottom of the cans, it says Greek Freak. Go figure. Thank you, Epicure Brewing.
Jennifer Parham wants to know: is it really live? Yes, this is live.
Yeah, we're live now.
Yeah, we're live because you were out in the cold today in the barn, freezing your tuchus off.
Patukis. All right, who's got volume on? We gotta shut it down. That's me.
I was like, I don't have it on this time.
That's me.
All right, so how many viewers we got? We got 6.
All right, we'll give the people the chance to get back in the house because we apologize for that.
If you're a Mug Club member and you don't go live, I'm going to take them all away. You're welcome.
Damn it. Hey, wait, I'm a Mug Club number
Yes, you are,
19,
but
brother.
You're doing the show.
I'm live. We're live.
You and Eric are in.
We're in. Do you need another Greek freak?
No, I'm good for now.
You know,
Thank you.
that those mugs, actually, next time we have a guest on there, we make one for the guest too.
That says guest.
No,
100%.
Nick. Well, I think we do have. You know what? I think that's actually a good idea. We have a guest one, and then we have a Nick one.
You got one.
You got me. I did
Oh,
a
you did?
chug last night at the restaurant.
We gave him a Greek freak beer.
I'll send it
already.
to you. It was good.
With the wait,
It
he's
says-
got a 56 plus 1
Yeah, it
mug that
says-
says Nick.
It says Greek Freak on it.
Oh.
And I did it with a Fox Farm Quiet Life.
All
Yeah, down my pie hole, kiddies.
right, we're at 6. I'm 1, so we're at 5.
I'm 1. I'm a
All right.
+1.
All right, so guys, we lost transmission and had some technical difficulties. We're doing what we can as we grow through our podcast development. We're trying to update the technology so it'll be more seamless and maybe a little more professional. But we are dealing with what we've got right now. We got 5 viewers, and I think we're going to pick up on recording in about. Want to give it 5 minutes, 3 minutes?
Yeah, we'll give it a couple minutes. I know we had probably 10 viewers before. Maybe they had to go. They probably had prior appointments, but yeah. So 56 plus 1. The reality is we started out as a audio podcast only, which we still are. So we're on Apple. We're also on Spotify. But then we figured out, well, hey, we could do some of these things on Facebook Live, and we don't really have the equipment to do the Facebook video. We're just kind of making do with what we got. But the audio should be spotless. And Jennifer says professionalism is overrated. I agree with you 100%. That's why we're pounding beers on our Facebook Live right now on a Sunday. Because don't let Monday ruin your Sunday.
And Jen is a proud wife of Dave Parham. He's an Army veteran and one of the most selfless people I've ever met in my life. A little quiet ninja. You know what I'm talking about, Dave.
That's awesome.
So for those that don't know, we're talking Nik Alevras is the owner of Two Brothers. Is it Two Brothers Pizza?
Co-owners with Two Brothers Pizza.
Down in Salem, Connecticut. You walk in the restaurant. It's homey. You'll see a lot of stickers, a lot of American flags, a lot of veteran-based Oregon. What do you call it? Decorum. Accoutrements. That's it. Then, but it just kind of gives you a feel for what it is. Good food. I've had the lasagna. I do like it. I think I've had it both times I'm there. See, that's the thing for me with restaurants. Once I go and I find something I like, I don't generally evade from it. And I only went to your restaurant one time before that, and I was like, wow, the lasagna's really
Which
good.
is a big deal. I mean,
it's kind of a big deal. We're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, you are.
This is awesome, dude.
We have an Air Force vet, which is Rich, and then we have a Marine Corps vet, which is Eric.
Right.
And then you got a little Greek Army veteran guy.
The one that could kill us both with one finger.
Man, they're crooked.
That's what I'm saying. You killed too many people with it. That's the scary part. All right, so I'm gonna hit record on the old podcaster again. We'll start recording. So
okay.
I think we were talking about. Let's just take it back to the pasta. The pasta fundraiser.
I had mentioned Chris Coulter, and he dropped off yesterday $600 worth of different wines, baskets, and bourbons, and a few other liquors of all kinds. Just one aspect of all the caring, amazing people that have dropped off items, gift cards. We're going to do another part of the fundraiser, but in April. I have some friends that are do this for a living, so they're going to help me out. And just another way.
But the fundraiser is for
Casey Craft.
Casey Craft.
Right. It's for the Casey Craft and pasta fundraiser, but we're doing it in two parts because I didn't want to overburden the firehouse. It's just too much for one day.
But I do want to add clarity to the people that may pick up this segment and not have picked up the first segment. So Casey Craft is one of the guys that Rich and Nick know as a friend who was aboard the approaching plane.
It was American Eagle Flight 5342 coming into Washington, D.C.
That crashed into the helicopter.
Collided with the Black Hawk helicopter. Casey Crafton being in the aviation industry, I'm also in aviation. I've worked with Casey. I know him not intimately, but I do know him. On a casual, a handful of times, and he's from Salem, just like you, Nick, and his family's in the restaurant. So it's a community thing. It
is 100%, and taking care of your community. And even though I did not know Casey personally, small talk through the restaurant, seeing his family, the kids, it really hits home. And my heart goes out not just to only them, but all the families that have lost their loved ones during this tragedy.
Yeah, 67 people passed away that day.
Yep.
It's one of them terrible things, and we talked about September 11th, and it's unfortunate that it's often these tragedies that bring a community together. But at the end of the day, it's the fact that people really do care, and if we could get back to those roots and just think about what it is that we're here for, and we'll go back to what you said, help your neighbor. Just be a good person. It costs nothing to do something nice for somebody. Why do we have to wait? Let's do it today.
And that's it. It's so easy sometimes. People make it hard.
I agree. So Nick, we'll try to lighten the mood a little bit here. You talked about being in the restaurant business, talked about what you did during COVID. Can you kind of walk me through? I know you've got a lot of things on your plate. Like every time I turn around or I see a post on social media or Instagram or Facebook, or I go down to the restaurant or I see your chug, you're always doing something, and I want to know, what does a typical day look like for you, or what does a typical week look like for you?
So usually, I have to be at work early. I'm usually late because I have my whole life. But in that lateness, I within an hour and a half, I try to bang out emails, texts, and really get the wheel moving. Because sometimes it's like herding cats. You need a little lubrication.
Right.
Get in there, and I get the ball rolling. And then my 12-hour work shift, and then between that, if somebody was to open up my brain, it would be a super highway of craziness.
Are we recording right now? I mean, not on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back to the podcast.
Super
All right.
highway of craziness and nuttiness. And
It's like organized chaos.
yes, and kind of chaotic anarchy. Oh, that looks good on you.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
wanted to try one of these hats on.
Yeah, absolutely, hands
I'm
down,
actually
dude.
It
messing
looks
up the
good.
podcast. Guys, for those that don't know, what do you call these?
It's
Boston Scully?
Yeah, Boston Scally company. It's a Peaky Blinders kind of.
Yeah, Piggy
hat.
Blinders hat.
Yeah, did you? I hope you didn't cut yourself in the razors
I gotta-
putting
I
that
gotta
thing
see
on.
It's just beer bottle openers.
So that
But
I'm getting one.
I think they make some really really nice ones.
it looks good on you.
This one's the Blood Rose. That's right, lads.
Wow, the blood rose.
Yeah, you should see the Guinness one. Whoa! Always sold out, but you can get on the waiting list. I have to say thank you, Ken and Kim Potty. Ken lives in Salem. He is a retired major in the Army. He was shot down. He was medevac during the Gulf War. He
Wow,
was shot down.
Ken,
combat
thank you for your
wounded.
service. Appreciate you.
They bought it for an early birthday present. Amazing hat. Love it.
That's awesome. If Ken's willing, we'd like to actually have him on the podcast.
He
And,
would. I can speak for Ken. He would love that.
I have an icebox full of cold beer, and me and Eric can ask questions till the cows come home. So,
You said he was shot down during the Gulf War.
He was in the Gulf War, and
Was he A-10 pilot?
no, he was Huey medevac.
Oh, okay, that right.
Yeah,
that-
sorry,
Nice.
Huey medevac. I love those A-10 Warhawk pilots. Oh, baby.
yeah, that thing's awesome.
Oof.
That's a beast. So for those of you listening to the podcast, we are on Facebook Live. We have a comment from Sean Rector. It says, no matter how chaotic his brain is, he will drop everything to discuss an issue or help you in any way he can. Nick?
I love you, Sean. You know I do, and he has been a blessing from doing the first Taji 100, and him and Mike Lincoln really helped me through some hard times. Maybe we just helped each other. And it's interesting in fact enough that we just finished the last Taji 100 miles for the month of February in 28 days. You can ruck it, hike it, walk it, run it, and cycling, rowing. It's a very deep thing to commit to. And I always say, listen, starting something like this, even if you don't finish it, it's okay. The fact that you got out of your comfort zone to put yourself out there mentally, physically, to try to do something like that, you have my deepest love and respect. And, he finished it, and I got less than 2 weeks, which just blows my mind. But he's a
Sean did
savage.
it in less than 2 weeks?
Yeah, he's a savage.
Oh, my Lord, what a beast. I
He's
should have given him my miles.
He's a Navy veteran. He's just a beast. And when I
Nice.
look at him, I think of him, and I'm like, at times where I've struggled, I think of Sean and so many others, and it pushes me to that next part of it.
Well, and I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but you also completed the 100 miles, and I think you were down to day 28, and you worked, I'm sure, at least a 12-hour shift.
I did.
And, I follow you on Instagram and Facebook, and I see your posts, and I honestly, the last night, I know you were getting out of work, and you had 5.2 miles left to complete your 100 miles for the for
Yeah, it
the
was
month of
close to that.
February.
It was hard as hell.
And you did it.
I did it because, when you have purpose, but I think of so many people that have given their life for this country, and so many people that have broken because of the war in numerous capacities. I think of them. They give me the strength to push on. But in that moment, like every time I go out, I try to honor a fallen veteran or fallen hero. Do a little video, do a couple of miles hard ruck, some weight, and then share some photos. And like my beloved friend Frank Pops Adamski that lost his life to cancer 2 years ago. He's tattooed on me, so he must be pretty symbolic. He always says, Nico, he goes, if you speak their name out loud, and they shall live on forever. And it's important to remember these people, not just for each and every one of them, but their family and friends, that they are never forgotten.
Never forgotten.
As long as I'm alive, I will do my best to honor our veterans, our heroes, these warriors that give it all.
It's I've been emotional a couple times during this podcast, and this is another point because I've seen the dedications that you've done on social media to these people, and I know that you know a lot of these people personally, and you learn about them and you know about them, and we'll talk about Pops. His son passed away.
Yeah, he was killed in the Kandahar province of Afghanistan in 2010. There's a movie about it called A Hornet's Nest. It's about 6 brave men. I watched it once. I will never watch it again just because of Pops being he's my brother, and his son, Frankie, his beret and patch hang proudly in my restaurant. It's very symbolic. It's tough. I never knew Frankie, but one of the Team Freedom Striders teammates, Clifford, he was friends with Frankie before he went off to the Army.
Wow.
So there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of brotherhood and camaraderie within our ranks.
Yep.
And we're connected in some kind of way. It's March 29th, and we always do a hike ruck for 6 brave men, and it's coming up. For anyone that wants to join, it's our way of showing that pride and keeping their memories alive.
Hats off to you. I look at what society is today, and without people like you, without unselfless people selfless people to support the higher cause, and that's what you do. I mean, life is nothing. You know what I mean?
I often talk about, obviously I'm proud, happy to be an American, right? And I talk about the sacrifice of this country. We all do. I get into these conversations with people from other countries, and they're like, well, you're insulting other countries. And I'm like, well, they're like, other countries have freedom. I mean, and I think we can agree that freedom is to a certain point. The one fundamental difference is this. How many other countries are actually signing up people where people
voluntarily?
There you go. To put their life on the line for it, for that Constitution that we talk about, the Declaration of Independence and the history that has built us up to this point. And that alone, in my mind, is what makes America the greatest country on earth. And then when you tie in the people as that resonate with guys like Nick here or other individuals that don't have the chance to make it home. And it's not just the individuals there. Now, when they don't have the chance, you're talking about families. You're talking about brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole nine. And that cannot forego, in my mind, by any country, and call it selfish if I'm going to say this, or nationalist if you want to call me that. I just don't think there's anything better than that. Like you said, they voluntarily sign up, and a majority of us veterans, we do come home. It's those that don't have the voice, and as you said, that their voices, their minds, their name needs to live on through history. And I didn't mean to get off track there from the conversation.
I'm gonna have a cheers to those that don't come home.
Cheers. I'm not drinking grapefruit. Pepsi will do.
Pepsi's good. I love your Pepsi. Full throttle, caffeine kind.
So Nick, you talked about the Taji 100, and congratulations
Thank
on
you.
finishing it. And I know that there's so many reasons that you did it, and like you said, whether you finished or not, the point that you even started is just truly inspiring and amazing. But I know you're involved in a lot of other organizations. You do a lot of nonprofit stuff. Uh, what's some of the other things that you do that you'd like to talk about?
Um, uh, well, I am the newly appointed vice president, and I have been a board of directors member, but the new vice president position for Veteran Equine Therapeutic Services.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. It's a big deal. We've come out of, we reconstructed the board, um, changed a few things around. We've come out of the gate stronger and better. Resolve some issues, and we're really going to be doing some great things. Not that we haven't done it before, but the mission at hand, and first and foremost, is always about the veteran. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about the organization. It's about the veteran and how we make their lives a better place.
And how is that? What does the equine and the veteran have in common, or what is the tie-in there with the?
So, working with horses, equine. Horses are a poster child for PTSD. It's fight or flight. They're always alert. They're always, just like veterans. They're always second guessing you. They're trying to feel you out. Like, is this person on my side, or is he trying to just manipulate and take advantage of me? Building that trust issue, being part of a team. Once upon a time, you were part of a team in the military. You transition out, and you lose that. And somewhere as the years go by, you long for it. That camaraderie where like, I have your six, I got your six. It means something. We like to use the terminology shoulder to shoulder, where some of the special operations Marines, like my friend Dan Newell, he passed away, which I carry his family gave me his gold jump wings. It's on my ruck. It's on my ruck. Dan's with me all the time. And others along the way, they use a terminology called never above you, never below you, always beside you. We're equals in this, all of us. I don't care what rank you were, if you were older, younger. As far as I'm concerned, we're equals, and we're here to help each other. So, but through equine has been such a rewarding process, watching it, actually doing it myself also. You have a bad day, you bring that negative energy to there, the horse knows.
Right.
It's going to feed off of that. But you can change the whole aspect of who you are as a person. That horse is going to help you because they're in the same boat you are. So there's a lot of fundamentals. And amongst that, we do archery. We do Cowboy Kitchen. We're going to start a program doing painting, in 4-part sessions. There's many attributes to it, so we could help the veteran itself. Like, it's not just about archery and equine, but the different elements of wellness. Because at the end of the day, it's about wellness. It's about your mental well-being, your physical, spiritual, and how to work well together, how to become connected to one another again, having that teamwork.
We had talked a little bit about this, about we called it the transition phase. And when we get out of the military, you're handed this file or this paperwork they call TAPS, which stands for Transition Assistance Program. And what's on your mind when you get out, really, what's on your mind and you get out is getting out. And that's whatever's on your mind. So you're not going to pay attention to any of the paperwork, the documents, and it's a quick shuffle. So I remember it, but I only remember it as just that, a quick shuffle of information that was being shoved down shoved into our folder, and what we did with it was our choice. And one of the things that I think and have seen with veterans is when you're in the service, you are somebody. You have a rank, you have a last name, and you have that brotherhood. And when you get out, you are thrust into a world that you're not familiar with anymore, right? And in many ways, the military brainwashes you, not in a negative way, but you're conditioned to think a certain way. And Rich, you've alluded to it. So many other veterans talk about this, and where I think it's failing at, in my opinion, is that support network afterwards. Whereas TAPS is given to you in the way out, and they fulfilled their commitments, and I'll say it for lack of better hands, they've washed their hands of it, so to speak. But on the other hand, it may not be receptive to the individual that is the veteran that's transitioning out. And that's why I asked you about the equine. So now it's putting this horse in an uncomfortable situation with the person it doesn't know, which is what the veteran faces, was this world or country that it served is now in the uncomfortable situation. So it's a dynamic where, at least from what I gather from what you're saying, you're putting two individuals or spirits or personalities, whatever, into a dynamic that where they got to work with each other, and it's hard in many instances. You know, a lot of young veterans, particularly ones that I know, they turn to places like the VFW, and don't get me wrong, I think they have their place, but they tend to lead to other things that could evolve into problems for the young veteran that's getting out.
Well,
And
absolutely.
a lot of it is around drinking. And while some people can manage it, other people can't. It becomes, now you're managing the drinking while you're trying to manage the adaptation, and you're trying to manage this transition all at the same time. And it can, that's what makes it easily turned into a problem. So that's why I asked you to kind of key up and discuss this equine veteran help organization, was to bring in a focus to those that don't experience this, or for those that don't, that may be the veteran transitioning out but don't really understand what the relationship is between the horse and the veteran, or the equine veteran establishment.
You broke it down perfectly. And there's a couple of the veterans that are there, have kids, and they're single parents, and it's a great program. They get to go through this with their parent, and eventually, you know, we have a mounted program too. We also have another farm, and both farms are in Ledyard, Connecticut. There's another farm that actually approached us through passing, and it's a great story, but I won't get into too much detail with it. They have 30 miniature donkeys. All they want to do is smile and love you. So how can you not want to be part of that? It's a great way to actually show up the farm, you know, feed them, clean their stalls a little bit, but you get to hang out with 30 donkeys. I couldn't believe it until I went. Now I'm like, I didn't want to leave.
It's the best day ever.
I was like, 30 little buddies everywhere.
Yeah. Donkeys can be stubborn. Now, I'm not going to let go of that.
Well,
they can
I'm
be mean.
stubborn.
They can be stubborn.
Oh. Well,
and so can veterans.
He's
So
hanging around with a couple donkeys right now.
I guess I get it.
So
I get it.
it kind of actually balances itself out.
So I do have a question that leads me into, you know, we talk about these services for veterans and PTSD and everything else. And one of the questions that I had asked you, Nik, was, can you talk about a point in your life where you felt your lowest? And how did you bounce back from that?
Ooh,
I know
that's a good one.
That's a tough question.
That would be like failure setback, right?
Yeah, I would say any
Just trying time.
Okay. So back in 2000, we owned Papa Z's restaurant in Colchester, Connecticut, on Route 16. It's part of Westchester. It's part of Colchester. And I had a harebrained idea that we should sell our huge restaurant, full-blown restaurant, and sell it all and move back to Greece, because I had this idea that, you know, let's backtrack. If you've been out of the country for so many years, it's not like how you left it. It's all, you know, it's a great, you know, holiday high for those 3 months, and you're like,
right.
Oh my God, living in the moment, right?
Right.
But and then reality hits, and be like, oh my God, it's 10,000 times worse than I thought. You're not Greek there. You're a foreigner. Even though I was born there, I served in the military there. I'm a foreigner. I'm a Americano.
Right.
And I'm like, which is fine. It's a whole different. It's not entirely welcoming. So I convinced my parents, my brother, to sell the restaurant, and I moved to Greece first in the potential of actually buying a bakery. What was I thinking? No idea.
Croissants.
So I worked at this bakery for 3 months first to learn the business, not knowingly that the person that was selling the business, what I thought was actually backstabbing us in the process and selling it to somebody else. He would go around town telling them that we're just a bunch of no good Americans that we're here just to buy the business and not put back anything back. All lies. And realizing that 6 months into it now that I made a fatal mistake and I dragged my family here. My brother was miserable. I was miserable. When I found out all this stuff happened, I almost went to jail because I went over there and I was going to hurt him real bad.
Oh.
And my uncle.
Is that how you broke your finger?
I shut him in his nostrils. And my father and my uncle caught up with me, and they physically threw him in the back of the vehicle.
Wow.
I was gonna put him in the hospital or worse, because here's a really good family that sold everything to come back to Greece, to where we started our story from, and for someone to manipulate you like that and lie and cheat, it's not good.
No.
We're not pieces of dirt. We're actually human beings that are trying to really do something special here.
And you didn't have any nefarious motives. You were actually trying to go back and start another business and become
So
a productive member of society.
That was a huge setback.
And you did you and it's that thing. So there's always this, like, you felt you had a tie back to Greece just due to that was your origin, right? Heritage, I guess. And I think it made you realize that, all right, look, badness, evil, hatred, perception,
knows
whatever.
no bounds.
Right. It doesn't
could be
matter.
anywhere.
Right.
So what happened? What did you do? So you buy the shop or
No. Once I found out these lies and whatnot, I knew that something was wrong because he wasn't teaching me the recipes. So this is how smart I was, or I thought I was. Every time I would take a bathroom break, I would grab toilet paper and write down pieces of the information of the recipe. I saved that toilet paper.
Do you have it today?
I have 12
sheets
of TP with all the recipes on there. He didn't know a thing.
That is great.
And I'm like, all right, you're going to burn me? All right, I got you.
That is fantastic.
And TP recipes right there.
TP recipes.
So is that what you would attribute to the success of Two Brothers Pizza today?
No. That's all my mom and dad. And then we were there for 9 months, and my brother and I were miserable. We're like, we got to get out of here. So now we're going back to the States to start from scratch. My parents stayed in Greece. We worked 3 different jobs, and we ended up buying a liquor store. That's how we came up with the word Two Brothers. It was Two Brothers Wine and Spirits. And we worked that for about 5 years, working 2 to 3 part-time jobs on top of it.
Wow.
And I was like, oof.
So liquor store business could not have been that great.
No, not for 2 young guys in their, mid-20s.
You know what? If I lived in your town, that might have been a different story.
Yeah. So I knew something was definitely wrong because I fell asleep in the bench in the front of the business while it was open. And one of my customers woke me up. He goes, Nick, I'd like to buy some beer. I didn't even know where I was. I looked up and was like, whoa.
Wow.
I was so tired. I was working 18 hours the day before. And I was like, and I'm like, all right, we got to do something. I called my mom in Greece and told her what happened. She goes, I'm coming back to the States. We're going to find a restaurant, and we're going to get back into the restaurant business.
And that's where you are today.
Yeah, she found that location in Salem. I'm like, Mom, there's nothing in Salem. She goes, you're wrong. She goes, there's families.
There's people.
Yep.
And that's
it.
That's one thing that I see when I come into your restaurant is
family.
The last time I was there, it was a couple of dads, and I I can tell their kids just came from soccer practice. There was 5 or 6 different kids from the team, and they all had pizzas.
It's not just a business.
No,
I mean,
I got that feeling that Rich is talking about too. And
and it's great. I've watched people's kids grow up and then come back from college and start their own families, and it's like been a beautiful process, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're really grateful to be part of that story.
That's an amazing story. It's an amazing story.
So Shannon Lynn Abbott's writes, well, wow, I've known you for a little minute, Nik, and I'm learning more about you today. Love this.
I've known Shannon for 40 years.
And Shannon's only 28.
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
So can we talk about your first bank robbery?
I only got pennies.
100. So funny enough that you say bank robbery.
I'm sorry.
But no. What is something that most people don't know about you, Nik?
Well, if I watch sad movies with my wife, I'm usually in the corner crying like a little baby. Recently, over the last 4 years, I've been seeing what I call my energy therapist. She's helped me really realize who I am as a person and my ability. My wife has been telling me this for years, but I'm an empath. So it comes down to I physically feel your pain. If you're going through something like loss, and it affected my life to the point where I was drowning in it. And this lady, Elaine Jensen, she really helped me. She goes, Nik, I gave you the tools, but you need to learn how to work with them. And in that process, I learned how to. I paint rocks, and she goes, unload all the negativity, all those rocks in your backpack, and start painting something positive. So when I would have a loss, I would paint the friends and loved ones on my rocks, and then when I go on a hike, I would release them back into the universe, and it was my way of letting go. And it's been rewarding, and it still hurts, but it doesn't crush my soul every time. So yeah, and I know where. And then I take a picture and the coordinates, and I send it to their family too, in case they want to go on a hike. And
so there's thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
Right? So
Thinking of somebody else all the time. That's awesome.
I after COVID, I'm convinced that God saved my life. Those 4 first days, I knew I was gone. I knew it. And 10 days to spend in that unit, maybe I wanted to go. I don't know. But I remember saying to God afterwards, I'm like, thank you for saving me. I'm convinced that I'm here because of His good grace. He saved me to help somebody. And
Amen.
It's a reckoning, like coming to terms with that.
It's hard, man.
It's really is,
You're a
'cause I'm
human
like,
being, right?
I'm like, what are you,
right,
crazy?
Right.
I'm like, that sounds crazy.
I get it.
And I'm like, but maybe it's the truth. Maybe He did save me for something better, right?
Of course He did. Of
And,
course He did.
So I'm blessed to be here.
100%.
People are like, oh, crazy Nik, crazy this, crazy that. What are you doing? I'm like, I only have one life. I wanted to make it the best I possibly can, not just for myself, my family, my friends, but everybody else too. Like, go out and live your life.
What sucks,
Don't
Nik,
waste
is
it.
once you hit 50, you realize how short it is.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna be 54 next
I agree.
on the 9th, and I'm like, ow, everything hurts.
I agree on that too.
Especially Eric with his what he's been through. This man is lucky to be alive, tenfold.
Yeah,
Give me 5, man. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad both of you guys are here.
Yeah. Universe has it puts us together. You just have to have your eyes open.
Yeah, I'd say it's even more than that, Nik. And it's what you do. It's taken me a long time, longer than what I would have thought. I think having your heart open is the better statement there.
Yeah, man.
Maybe allowing your heart to see.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. If you can put them both together. I've had my fair share of I'll call them issues, and it's taken me a little bit longer than what I would have hoped to mature from those issues, and that's just where I am.
But you're here today.
Yeah,
man.
hey, we make it
And,
eventually
yeah.
at some point, and continue.
I mean,
to
with
keep
that being said, Nick, I know you got to get going here, and we covered a lot of ground.
It's been an amazing show, you guys.
It has been an amazing show. Like you are an inspiration to me. I can say that. Eric's been an inspiration to me. It's there's so many things that have happened since this 56+1 idea came about, and I guess one last question I will have for you before we kind of wrap up is,
okay.
If you could give or have received the best piece of advice, what would that be? What would you leave somebody with?
You can't use say sorry because Todd already stole that one.
Yeah. Sorry's been a good one.
Let's see. Because Rich had given me an initial list of 24 questions, and I answered all of them.
You did a great job. I have the easy part. Me and Eric are just sitting here firing off. And
I think we only gave him two of those questions.
And but actually, Nick, speaking of that, is there something else that you wanted to touch on before we wrap up with the piece of advice? There's so many aspects to you. I wasn't sure which angle to come at you.
I don't know. Where's the question on here? Like, is there a number?
So the last question, it was number 24.
Oh, yes. This is the one I think I struggled the most. Best piece of advice: only way to weather a storm is to go through it head on.
That is, I think we all face that.
That is,
it's the bulldog mentality. You got no choice. I mean, to those that want to better themselves, you got no choice.
It's accountability. You screw up, hold yourself accountable.
That's it.
Hey, we're all human. I screwed up, or I should have came to you and talked to you directly about what's been going on. Don't leave it up to rumors and lies and things to start from a pinprick and end up in like a back of a dump truck. I'm like,
right.
You know what? Just take care of it. The longer you let things go, the tougher it is. We all know that. And how do you come back from that? At the end of the day, it's like, make a phone call and be like, can we just sit down and talk? Okay.
Agreed.
Sometimes, and truthfully, no matter what has happened, if you take that accountability and try to make a better situation out of it, right or wrong, I think for the most part things work out.
And you're right. That's how you let go, right? And there's times where you may say that, can we sit down and talk? And the other side just still doesn't. Well, my point is, hey, that's on you. I'm still there.
I am learning that, and I've always been a kind of guy that was the glue, right? I want to fix things. I know now that I can't do that all the time. Right. It just, unfortunately, it's physically impossible. People are who they are, but if you want to truly make an impact, not only for yourself and the community and the people around you, you got to make the effort.
Yeah, that's just it. It's the only control you have is over yourself, right?
And been learning that a lot lately.
Yeah, it's been awesome, dude.
Yeah. Yes, it has. I love you guys.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're here. I know Eric just took off for a quick break, but
I don't blame him.
He'll be back. I know. We've been putting a lot of he was having Pepsi.
Yeah, I know.
But no, it's a great show. It was nice for you to drive up and spend your Sunday with us. And
I'm glad to be here, man. You live in such a beautiful part of Bolton.
Oh, thank you.
Great view, great riding.
I'm anxious to come down to the Bunker Bar.
Oh, open invite. I'll even give you the keys to the house.
Oh my God!
Help yourself.
I'll bring a toothbrush and a change of underwear, and I'm never leaving.
I'm Greek. Everybody's welcome.
Everybody's allowed. That's a freaking beautiful thing. Yeah, and the same with here. It's like, we got the little man cave back here. We got the podcast. If you want to come on and just...
If anybody gets a chance to come on your podcast and just hang out for a little while, this place is amazing.
Oh, that's awesome,
It's
dude.
so welcoming.
I'm glad you're comfortable, and I'm glad you came up. And actually, let's talk about Kevin Brown.
Yes.
Brown, right?
K. Brown. I know you're driving up from Florida, but he's going to check out the show later on after he stops. What an awesome human being. Talk about someone that has your back.
I've talked to him a handful of times. Not a handful. I've talked to him a couple times, and he wants to be on the show. So I think he's going to be one of our next interviews, probably.
I think that's a great idea for all of you. I mean, like he has a lot of information, and he's definitely like you and Eric. I think a little more like Eric, like really gets in depth about topics and really getting the right information. He's more not that you're not, but he's more articulated.
I don't have the words. I just don't have the words.
I'm like, I look at Kevin. I'm like, wow, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I just want to smash things and drink beer.
Oh, yes.
But no, honestly, Nik, we really appreciate you. If you guys are local, or even if you're not, if you're in the area, head down to Salem. Check out Two Brothers Pizza. We're gonna put links on our 56 plus 1 page. This episode will be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. There's some editing I have to do because we had some technical difficulties. I'm gonna edit the video. We'll get that up on 56 plus 1 YouTube. And I know,
we've got clothing, apparel.
We do have apparel. We've got hoodies, t-shirts. We'll be doing mugs, 56plus1.com.
To give away.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
I actually did a beer chug in the one you gave me yesterday with Fox Farm Quiet Life. It was awesome.
So we'll do that on the live. I'm going to end the 56 plus 1 podcast. So I appreciate you guys listening. My name is Rich, and I'm a +1.
And I'm Eric. I'm a +1.
And we want to thank Nik Alevras for
Nik
joining in.
Nik is a +1.
And I'm the Greek Freak, and I'm definitely a +1.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
All right, so the podcast is up, but we're still on Facebook Live. So, let's keep it rolling. I'm going to take a quick break, and we want to give,
So but he's got to bail. This is...
No, I just got to take a little,
little
boy break.
So
I'll be back.
We'll be right back.
To those on Facebook, we're trying to gain following, and we use these podcasts as ways to give away apparel and clothing, 56 plus 1 apparel. If you haven't been to the website, I would encourage you to go. But on, I think it's Thursday nights around 6:30, somewhere around there, we usually jump on and we do 2 random hoodies or T-shirt giveaways. And that's supported by those that sponsor the program as well, which is usually consists of businesses that just want to contribute to us. But we do appreciate the following, particularly on this episode and or the podcast with Nik. You guys are obviously fans of Nik, and that shows through here. And I'm sure that Nik cares about you guys as well. It seems to be. I don't know him that well. Rich knows him a little more than I do, but it's definitely clear to me on the fact that he does care about his community and obviously his friends. With that, I'm going to wait on these guys to come back and figure out what they want to do. So Sean Rector asked, can you, for the Facebook Live purposes, explain the 56 plus 1? So 56 plus 1 is the 56 represents the original founders and the principles that these guys had stood for to develop the idea of this more perfect union. The +1 represents those that still believe in the foundational principles that were laid down for us. The 21 stars that surround the number 56 represents the 21 gun salute, which obviously to many is a military tradition that's carried on today, but it actually reaches back to, if I'm not mistaken, I think
There was an old naval tradition back. I don't even know how far it
1400s,
moved.
I thought. So the naval tradition went something to this effect, whereas the ships, when they would approach a port, particularly in a non-hostile manner, most of these ships carried 7 cannons on them. And so they would empty out their gunpowder and their cannonball or magazine on the ship to represent that they were out of munitions, and that would signify to the port that they were coming in peace.
The port that they were entering would be typically an adversary. Their ship would expel their 7 shots, and then the battery on shore would expel 7 shots as well, signifying the 21 gun salute, meaning everybody was disarmed and they all come in peace.
And that there lies the 56 plus 1.
That's amazing. I love that.
Now this all started for us as there was 4 of us originally. We started off. We were throwing darts on Thursday nights and just hanging out, and we'd often get into various conversations, and it would result back to historical precedent and things that were established, whether it be by constitutional right or by the founding fathers and what they thought. And we all agreed that we wanted to have a deeper understanding to where that came from, why that was, so on and so forth. And we picked up a book called The Founding Fathers, which was an Encyclopedia Britannica book. And we would go and we would read 2 or 3 paragraphs every week, and then we'd come back and we'd talk about it before we threw darts. And all 3 of our wives kind of chuckled at us and said, "Wait a minute, you 3 guys are in a book club?" And
We're not. It's not a book club,
right? So we would say,
a book club.
"Well, it's not a book club," and then they'd be like, "Wait a minute, you guys read chapters, then you come back and you talk about them," and we'd be like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, it's a book club." So
it was definitely a book club.
It still is. So then it just transpired into the book club and saying, well, how many other people don't know this, what we're reading? And so we wanted to share that. And it started off as a 5,000-foot level from the Encyclopedia Britannica book that we're reading. So it would give basically an overview of each one of the founding fathers, as well as some of the other historical events that took place at that point. And we dove deeper into it. So we brought it from a 5,000-foot level, and we took each one of the founding fathers and basically did a mini audio book on them, and plugged them up to the podcast, which can be heard on 56 plus 1 Spotify and podcast, as well as Apple.
Yep.
So that, I hope I explained 56 plus 1. There's also more that if you go to the 56plus1.com website, you'll see articles of clothing that capture some of these poignant moments and quotes from some of our founding fathers. They're principles that we believe are relevant today. But that's, I don't know how much more I can sum it up from that. I would encourage you to go to www.56plus1.
So with that, we'd like to give a hoodie away.
Yay.
Okay, that's actually a good point, Rich. Let's give a hoodie away we got 7 people here.
So, 7 people, but, they were all loyal viewers of the podcast, even through our technical difficulties. So,
and we appreciate you.
We appreciate you. So, I don't know. How do you guys want to do this? Nick, you want to just write down a number, and the first person to comment the number gets a hoodie?
All right, Nick, come up with a number in your mind, or write it down on a thing so we can show it on the camera.
Okay. All right. So, I'm not prepared. A number from 1 through 10.
1 through, we only got 7. I tell you what, do 1 through 7.
Okay.
All right, 1 through 7. Even get the odds. I see it. I seen it.
I saw a funny. All right, guys, guess a number 1 through, we only got 5 people now. Guess a number 1 through 7. The first one to put up the winning number wins is it a hoodie or a t-shirt?
Sean Close, Kristen Close.
Come on.
Keep guessing. It's hard to give these shirts away.
Oh, Jennifer, lucky winner, number 4.
Yeah. Way to bring it through.
So, Jennifer, here's what you do. You go to 56 plus 1. There's the actual. Let me post that up there.
Number 4.
Go to 56plus1.com. Pick out, is it a hoodie or a t-shirt?
That's a hoodie. We're going to give 2 hoodies away today.
Oh, we're giving 2 away.
Do you have
So
them
we
here?
we have them here.
Well, if you want, I can take them back with me, and they can pick it up from the restaurant.
100%.
So if you want to get that hand delivered to you by Nick, you can go to the website, pick out the hoodie you want, tell us the size, and we'll get that to you. You can pick it up at
Do it
$2.
quickly because Nick's got to leave.
Or I can voluntold you.
So we're going to do this again. Are we going to do another number?
Yeah, so there's 2 companies that we want to give these these hoodies away. One was Fire Cleanup Services with Todd Jacobson out of New Hampshire. We have a podcast on him. He was actually episode 1 of This Is America. And Nick donated some money as well, and he's supporting the cause. We are giving the second hoodie away on behalf of Two Brothers Pizza and Nik Alevras. So
Yay!
we appreciate you.
Already.
So
Cool.
Here we go. Pick a number once again.
Jennifer says pick one, Nick, large for her.
Nope, she gets a
Okay.
large.
Thank you for putting your trust in me.
Okay, so now we're looking for the numbers 1 through 7. The first one to pick the right
Hey,
number.
Michael Abbott's already whacked it.
Mike Abbott's gets
Number 7.
What are you? Get out of my brain, bro.
Get out of his head, bro. Oh, Sean says 7.
Did you
Number
get it
7.
on there?
Well, I'll tell you what. Since you both won, I'll pay for the other hoodie and give it to Sean. So they'll all be in my truck.
Awesome. So we
I
got
can't
Michael
guarantee
and
the
Sean.
nipples won't be cut out.
Take that for Casey. So, yeah, Mike and Sean, go to the 56 plus 1 website. It's
I'll put it up. I'm going to put a link right in the notes right now.
and pick out, if you could, in the next 5 minutes, tell us so we can send Nick on his way with the hoodies.
He's going to be leaving with so much swag. But, this guy, he shows up. He brings more stuff than I have in my house to give me. It's ridiculous. Nick, your heart doesn't even fit in this man cave. It's ridiculous.
Hey, listen, it's for a greater cause, and it makes people happy, and it's a win-win situation for everybody. And you're right, Abbott's, go airborne.
It's awesome. No, it's been a great afternoon. I really enjoyed today.
Plus, I get to watch the squirrels outside with their nuts in their mouth.
Oh my God, I didn't know that they were doing that. in
That
the
was
front yard.
amazing. I was like, whoa.
No comment.
It's like
No comment.
Wild Kingdom over here.
You should see when the coyotes in their back chasing the deer around.
Guys, for the 56 plus 1 podcast, we normally jump on, 6:30?
Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. We Eric and I. So what do?
It's like a pregame to our podcast.
Yeah, it's nothing. Obviously, we're not the best video managers, but we go on Facebook Live. We just interact with the people who are looking out, and typically we do all our research during the week, and then we record our next episode of the Founding Fathers. We're trying to get through the book. What we're finding is it's getting a little repetitive.
Mundane.
It's a little mundane.
Yeah, repetitive is the better word. It's not mundane. It's just that it feels like albeit we're repeating some of the things. Each one of these individual people that were involved with signing the Declaration of Independence had their own role in it. So while it's mundane to us, we feel it's best to do them the best service we can.
So I do want to add that during my first 10 rucks for Tataji 100, episodes 15, 16, 17, I listened to your podcast to do those miles. And,
Wow. That's an honor.
Dude. And you know what? It's good for us to actually go back because there's a lot of information. You forget some things, and it's important to actually educate yourself. And I do frequently.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. It's like I said, I was not much of a history person, and I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. I had no idea what it meant. And now that I'm going back and learning it, and I'm still glad that I defended.
Yeah, of course.
And I still support 100%, which is why I'm a +1. I support everything that it talks about. But yeah, let's get back to the roots. Everything that happened then is the trials and tribulations that we're dealing with now. Nothing's changed. People are people. People have always
People
been
are
people.
people.
Just time is gone by. It's a different time, but it's still relevant to what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so we got Jennifer Parham, we got Michael Abbott's, and Sean.
Abbott's wants a gray 2XL, so it's a
Yes,
big
he does.
56.
Got it.
And we had
We're
whatever.
waiting on Sean.
Yeah, we're waiting on Sean. I'm pretty sure he's a
Sean Rector.
extra large.
That's awesome.
Sean, what size are you, buddy?
Maybe he's on the website right now. He's like, I don't want you to pick my shit out, Nick. He's like, I want to choose.
Well, he was Navy, so I figured blue.
Eric's Navy. Look at his blue shirt.
And it's I love.
That's the blue. Yeah, the blue. I mean,
It's nice.
we went through these statements, right? So we could only spend. We spent a lot of money.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money, but whatever, It's,
Sean says.
Let's sell a bunch of them. Come on.
Sean says, "Thank you, Nick, for all that you do. Love you, brother. I want to also thank him for introducing us to 56+1, and I look forward to hearing your episodes and learning along the way. I believe in the Constitution. LOL. XL. So Sean XL.
Sean wants an XL.
Do you want the white one with the nipples cut out? That's my favorite one.
Oh, dude, you got to come here and try it on first, though.
Yeah, we need to see that one in person.
That's funny. This is getting weird.
So
I like
well,
it.
that's only because you added that. All right, so he wants it just any random XL, Sean. Great.
Shannon says, please pick the pinky red one for Jennifer. I'm going to say adorbs. Adorable.
So we're hoping to change the color scheme, and we just want to find out what people like. We're new to this. We dumped a lot of our own money into this to just try to get shirts and things of that nature made. But Sean says anything is good. He just needs an XL. All right, good.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right. Well, Nick, I know you got to get out of here.
Okay.
Anybody? Dave said, cut the nipples out of my wives.
No comment.
All right. No comment. I'm trying to keep it
PG.
I'm doing it right now. I got scissors on me. But no, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you, Nick. Thanks for coming out. And
It's been an honor.
we will talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, guys, it's been fun. Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate it.
Take care.
I'm Eric, and I'm a +1. And Rich.
My name is Rich, and I'm a +1.
Have a good night, guys.
And I'm the Greek freak, and I'm a +1 and 2.
Guys.